more aggressive on the offensive end, but this is the time to
Williams to Devon. Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Hello, buddy. A doubleheader for you. We get you ready for everything that's going on. We got baseball. We've got Monday Night Football, and it's a huge game tonight. On Monday night. We got the Kings. We've got it all for you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Hanging in there. And, I'm just getting ready to wrap up this crazy football weekend. I don't even know where to start because we have just a plate full of things where we can go. But what a beatdown the Detroit Lions put on the Dallas Cowboys. And to listen to Jerry Jones after the game, it's embarrassing. That's what's wrong with the Cowboys. I've been saying this year after year after year. What's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys? Very simple. The owner. That's what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys.
The only thing worse than the Cowboys is the fix for the Cowboys, Grant.
Yes.
You can't really talk about it.
Yes, that's a great point. That's exactly right. Wow. How about the Detroit Lions? Now, Aiden Hutchinson, boy, surgery already, broken leg. That is, they're not ruling him out if the Lions were able to advance and go far, but man, that is a brutal loss for the Lions.
It's a bone, that's where there's not a lot of gray area. And so hopefully he's able to come back. Surgery, as you said today, but he is the heartbeat of what that defense does up front.
Yeah. You look at, I did a rant on this today. How about that division? Minnesota with 5 wins and everyone else has 4 wins, including Caleb Williams and the Bears, who's starting to find themselves, starting to get better. 4 touchdown passes in the win against the hapless, awful, embarrassing Jacksonville Jaguars. How bad do the Jaguars look? Oh my goodness.
And they got to spend another week in England, Grant. Really bad, really quick. We always look at net rating in the NBA. The 4 best teams with the best point differential all reign in the NFC West or North.
How about that?
There you go.
How about that? That says a lot right there. That really says a lot. I mean, Jordan Love threw 4 touchdown passes. He had his best game since last year. It looks like he's finally healthy. I got to tell you, the team that really impressed me that lost was Washington. They showed me something against Baltimore. And Jaden Daniels, their quarterback, I mean, he's on his way to stardom.
He is on the fast track. Yeah, I did. You were on it. You didn't think they would be quite up to the task, but the way they showed up, they look like a balanced team all the way around. McLaurin finally has a guy that can get him the ball. I hope that Daniels can stay healthy.
Yeah. Did you take anything away from the Kings game yesterday against the Blazers?
No. The only thing that I took away from it was maybe they're tired. A little bit of an awkward practice today, Grant, with the players saying, or Malik Monk saying that they're tired. Mike Brown saying, well, I could see him being mentally tired. But, it's a consistent trend. Bad team, early game, preseason, regular season, Grant. How about you?
I told you I don't really put a lot of stock into what I see in the preseason. I'm really looking at the health of the team. And then obviously because you have DeMar DeRozan, but I already know how DeMar DeRozan is going to be. It's not like that's a mystery, right? Like,
great point.
He's a very good player. He knows how to play. He is a smart player. I'm not really worried about how he's going to fit in because I don't see how he doesn't fit in. He could fit in any team in the league. That's how I look at him.
He's a chameleon. He makes everyone around him absolutely better. I guess the thing we got to keep looking at is the second half of the team, the bench, the rotation. Today, Coach Brown gave an update on Kevin Huerter, said that he's doing some one-on-one action, did not have an update on Trey Lyles. But what is that second 4 going to look like with the trade of Jalen McDaniels this afternoon to San Antonio, along with a second-round pick? Says the Kings possibly might not be done, Grant.
That may be. So if you want to talk about that, we can do so. And again, the Monday night game tonight, Robert Saleh is out. Aaron Rodgers coming off by the way, he's not on the injury report, so that's good.
Yep.
Coming off a dreadful performance in London. And here we go, right? I mean, this is it. Jets, Bills, divisional game, a lot on the line tonight.
Yeah, I think it comes down to if Aaron Rodgers can be protected, the Jets have a chance. I don't see a big bump coming from Jeff Ulbrich firing this crew up. How about you?
A little bit initially because it's Monday Night Football and everything else, but I will say this. If things get off to a rocky start, the crowd will go ballistic on the Jets. You just watch. If this thing gets ugly early, oh my gosh, it will be an ugly scene on Monday Night Football. I don't expect that to happen. I'm just saying if it happens, it will be ugly.
Yeah, and you might hear some cheers or some boos from Buffalo. Same thing goes for the Bills if they get off to a bad start. Sean McDermott is not in a good spot. You lose this game to the Jets. It's that time of season, Grant.
Boy, you're right about that. Who do you think's the next coach? Is it McDermott? What about Doug Peterson in Jacksonville? What about what's going on in Dallas? Right? I mean, who's the next? Mike McCarthy. Who's the next coach? Who do you think's the coach right now on the biggest hot seat?
You know, the easy answer is the easy answer is the Jags coach, 100%.
Doug Peterson, yeah.
Doug Peterson, thanks for helping me out. I think it's Sean McDermott because you saw the best of the Bills early in the season. Now, granted, they didn't play the strongest competition, much like the Seattle Seahawks, but that team has no time to waste. If they're going to get it done, Josh Allen has played at a very high level. You got to get right and you got to move on.
All right, Cody says Nathaniel Hackett removed from play calling for the duties as Todd Downing will step in calling plays. I don't know if that makes a difference. We'll find out. I don't know. You got to blame somebody.
Well, yeah, and don't you think that largely the input, whoever is calling the plays, is coming from Aaron Rodgers? You got to think he has some type of power to, not veto the play call, but audible the play call. I think there's a lot of power in that situation as well.
All right. Condog says the link's not working for him. That's because we banned you from the. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We'll check on it for you.
I'll put another one in. He said that during the 2:00 show as well. There you go, Condog. Yeah. See if that one works, buddy.
Let's go Mets, Grant. I hate the Mets. Why the hell would you say let's go Mets?
Grant, how big of a deal, assuming the Mets can get past the Dodgers, which they're up in game 2 right now, and the ALCS starts tonight. If you got a Subway Series, what's that to New York?
Well, I've experienced it before. It's really unbelievable. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, it's absolutely unreal. It just is. It's hard to explain. It really is.
Is it good for baseball?
All right, I'm going to upset a lot of people by saying this. When the Yankees are relevant, it's good for baseball.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people, you either love the Yankees or you hate them, but they make you watch them. It's great for TV ratings, which is great for revenue, which is everything else. So, the Yankees Mets Subway Series would be incredible. Unfortunately, I did experience that with the Dodgers the Giants and the A's, but that was the Earthquake Series, and that took center stage as it should have. And that really was a shame on a variety of levels. First and foremost, the tragedy and the people that lost their lives, but it really disrupted what could have been a really good World Series. But you asked me, what's it like? It would be the equivalent of when the Kings and the Lakers were playing in the 2002 Western Conference Finals, and everyone in the community is wrapped up into the series, even if they really weren't basketball fans. They jumped on the bandwagon and they got going. It would be similar to that.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's exciting because East Coast is so much different. And obviously there's some work to be done before we get there, but there's no in the middle. You're either one team or the other as far as I read.
Yeah. I still think the Dodgers will beat the Mets, but the one thing the Dodgers have going against them is history and their failures in the postseason so often. So, but again, as you said, the Mets are currently on top. This ball game is in the bottom of the 8th, and it is 6-3.
Yep, and the pitching for the Dodgers had been excellent. 33 scoreless innings coming into tonight, an MLB record for the postseason. So, all right, Corn Dog, the link works. Welcome in this afternoon.
What's up, buddy?
Ducks. Oh man, what a fantastic game that one was. Did you see it, Grant?
Which game?
Ohio State, Oregon.
Oh yeah, great game, and the finish was incredible.
Oh, that game was toe-to-toe, wire-to-wire, and honestly, I would love to see more of that in a Big Ten championship and even the playoff.
Yeah, I thought Oregon was going to lose with all the problems they were having on their extra point, the conversions. They gave away some points there, and I thought that was going to end up biting them. But yeah, I was impressed. First of all, the atmosphere was incredible up there in Eugene, wasn't it? Wow, what an atmosphere!
Oh,
huge.
So, Josh Pate on his YouTube channel, he's a affiliate with CBS, so he goes to a lot of these games live. He said Oregon Autzen is officially the loudest environment in the Big Ten, and he's been to a lot of these big games. So that is a huge statement right there.
Well, when you have Ohio State and Michigan, that is a huge statement. You're correct.
Yeah, big stadiums too.
Yeah, they are bigger. Almost Michigan's compared to Autzen's almost 40,000 bigger.
Yes, it is. That's correct. Yep.
So I got to bounce this since you're in on the conversation now, Grant. What did you think about Dan Lanning kind of bending the rules and sneaking that 12th player on the field at the end of the game?
Bending the rules is how you say it, huh?
That's how I say it. That's how you get 5 seconds off of the clock and take a possession away or play away.
Everything that I watched in that game just was like, it gravitated me to a point where I couldn't even get up to leave the room. I had to make sure that I had enough time to whatever I was getting to eat, going to take a leak, whatever the case may be. I was like, I'm not missing a play of this game.
Yeah, we had a good LSU Ole Miss game going on at the same time, and fortunate for them, I just did not want to change the channel from Oregon, Ohio State,
and Tennessee, Florida, which came right down to the
I saw Florida was up at halftime, and I'm confused, and then I see it's 10-10. I said, I wanted to see what was going on, but I wasn't changing it from Oregon, Ohio State.
I'll tell you what's also amazing to me is Alabama, who was up 28-0 2 weeks ago on Georgia, trailed and then won the game, obviously with Ryan Williams' great catch and run. Mm-hmm. But they barely beat South Carolina. I'm just wondering.
They're getting away with these games at home, but
yes, that's my point. They're getting away with the games at home. You're exactly right.
Yep, they're going back to Tennessee this week, and we know that state is not friendly for Alabama.
It's not, but you got to think there's going to be a little extra fire in their belly. Losing at Vanderbilt the week before this, you can't have another showing like that on the road. Now, Tennessee, much better opponent.
Yeah, Nico Iamaleava, maybe a nice little home game for him. I know he struggled in Arkansas. But that was a rough environment for him. He's pretty much a true freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, but he's pretty much a freshman. These are his first few games, so he's still got a lot to learn as a quarterback. But he's got the raw talent. Josh Heupel, again, good coordinator. He's the head coach. He's good with the offense. They need to probably get some more runs in there just to ease him into this Bama game, and I think they may be able to take the top off on these Bama corners in some of these plays.
There you go. I'll say this really quick about Oregon. I worry about them in the smaller games. They play Purdue. Bad football team this coming week.
Good point.
Look at Boise State and how close they came to knocking off Oregon.
Well, hold on Boise State. That may be a playoff team and a Heisman winner coming out.
I get that. I understand that. But still, Oregon should be beating Boise State. Even though their record had been good, Boise State's against Oregon's.
Yeah, we may be talking about, Boise State also not only just making the playoff, but maybe even, making it to the semifinal. Like Boise State may not be a slouch.
Dude, don't sleep on Boise, especially in the playoffs and the bowl situation.
You know what? Oklahoma knows that best.
Yes, they do at the Fiesta Bowl, my friend.
Yep, Statue of Liberty. But we got a great slate of games here, too. Illinois, Michigan, they're fighting for their Big Ten lives right there. because
but I don't. They are fighting for their Big Ten lives, but that's not going to gravitate me to watch that game. There are too many other games to me better than that.
Yeah, that's another good one. I'm actually very interested in that Kansas State West Virginia one as well. Even though West Virginia's record is 3-3, their 3 losses are to, all ranked top 15 teams. Their losses are to Penn State, Pitt, and Iowa State. And the Pitt and Iowa State games are very close. They got blown out by Penn State, but a lot of teams do. But yeah, West Virginia could easily been a 5-1. They have the talent to be a 5-1 team right now. Yeah. So that is an interesting game to me. And they are home in Morgantown. That is a rough environment.
What about Texas, Georgia?
I'm rolling with those horns, man.
I am too. I think Texas wins this game too. I'm rolling with them too.
There's a lot of questions I have on Georgia's end right now. Texas, even if Ewers goes down, I know they have Arch Manning in their back pocket. Yeah. Not a lot of teams can say they have, two good quarterbacks.
That's right.
Michigan has 2 quarterbacks. They don't have 2 good ones.
Right.
Texas has 2 good ones.
Yep.
And I think the line is better.
No, you're right on. We appreciate you chiming in and giving us the football update. You have a good one, all right?
Yes, sir. Go Ducks.
Thank you. It was a hell of a game. That was one hell of a game, that Oregon-Ohio State game.
Yep. Program-defining game, especially when it comes to recruiting. Can you imagine if you're a Ducks recruit?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. That is so important, a game of that magnitude, similar to what Alabama did when they beat Georgia. You have a recruit at that game. You have that is huge for a program like that, especially with a first-year head coach, even though he came from Washington, but with DeBoer. But that's huge. You are spot on about that.
Well, and I'll take it a step further. What about biting into new recruiting areas? If you're a kid that's in the Midwest and it's Ohio State, it's Michigan, maybe you're thinking about Oregon, and Oregon spreads out when you see them playing like that and playing in the Big Ten competitively.
Again, it's amazing, though, as you said, to just see these big games in college football, and the atmosphere is so different than the NFL. That's what I was thinking of when I was watching the end of that Oregon-Ohio State game, and then the reaction after the final play. You don't get that in the NFL. You just don't.
Yep, completely different. It's a great point, Grant.
Yep. All right. So if you want to get in on the program like Condog, you can do that. We have got Monday Night Football if you want to talk about what's going on with the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. And I am also looking for some rant ideas. So hit me up and I'll do a rant with Grant. Also want to tell you that we are brought to you in part by New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They are available around the clock 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Hope you had a chance to get to Bennett's yesterday or Saturday for their outstanding weekend brunch, whether it was in Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill in Rockland. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation and more. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Make a reservation and more. Prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. You will love them. Check it out. You will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. And you won't leave hungry either. Great portion sizes.
If you're disappointed and you leave hungry, look in the mirror.
Bingo. It'd be the same person asking for the 4X shirts. Remember that?
I do remember that. Yes.
He's got the 4X. Yeah. Love for the big boys.
Yeah, I do. I do remember that now that you bring that to my attention. Yes, I do. Oh, boy.
My goodness.
Who are you picking tonight?
Oh, man, it's hard, Grant. I'm going to go Buffalo. I just can't trust that the Jets are going to be able to protect Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know that Jets offense is explosive enough to come back if Buffalo has a strong start. And they've done that in a couple games this season.
I hate to say this. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be on the field at the end of the game.
Whoa.
I don't see it happening.
It goes across your mind, doesn't it? Yep. Because it does feel like he's a little bit of a hit away. It's an excellent point.
So I hope I'm wrong, but that's but it's going to be a hell of a game. And of course, I'm following what's going on in baseball too, with the Yankees and the Indians starting their series here in just a couple of minutes. But the Mets now on top 7-3, as that ball game is now in the top of the 9th. So they're trying to get on the board and even up that series at a game apiece.
Ohtani struggling today.
Yep.
He's gonna come around. He's too good not to come around. But again, you mentioned earlier that Dodgers problem. Those Dodgers sometimes this time of year don't play so well.
And then you talk about the Yankees. I mean, the spotlight goes back on Aaron Judge. His postseason numbers are not good, and he really needs to break out here against the Cleveland Indians.
It's his time. There's no reason he can't. The Guardians are a really good team, but Aaron Judge, step into the spotlight, become immortal.
Boy, when I think about the Yankees and the Indians in their past series, with everything that's gone on, this is going to be a lot of fun for me. This is a rivalry that goes back decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. I mean, there's a lot of history between these two franchises.
Like back to the Pudge days?
Yeah, going back even long before that. Okay. I'm talking about, before I was born. I mean, this is one hell of a rivalry.
I don't remember it that way, but I'm looking forward to watching it with that context.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of history here. So, but again, the Mets trying to even up their series, and again, the Yankees and the Guardians. I still hate the nickname of the Guardians. I think that's one of the worst names in the history of sports. Should have just kept it the Indians. There's no problem with having a team called the Indians.
Okay,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't disagree with you, but what about the Utah Hockey Club?
Well, but that's temporary, is it not?
I don't know.
It's only for 1 year, correct?
I don't know. But you can't come up with a name when you get a new franchise?
Well, I like the Utah Hockey Club better than I like the Guardians. I mean, the Guardians has got to be one of the just stupid. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Indians, okay? So, like, you can't have a team named the Cleveland Indians. I mean, it's stupidity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I hear you. Melissa, just hopping in on the conversation about the Kings really quick. Thoughts on Jalen McDaniels? Not a surprise. You saw him out there for the first couple of preseason games. Was not meshing with the physical play that Mike Brown wants to see from this group. It frees up a little bit more room, the going rate for getting rid of a salary. It's a second-round pick, so that's why the Kings send one there. And Monty McNair has left himself flexibility even before this move to improve this team, whether it be now or at the deadline. The Kings are thin at the forward position, so I think it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, it's a minor move at the moment, and as Ryan just said, we'll see if they add on to the roster, but it does give them some flexibility. But it's not a move that is going to determine how many games you win this year.
No, not whatsoever. I think that there were already people that would have gotten minutes before him that are two-way players.
It's a minor move.
Yes,
it's not even worth discussing that much.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, again, if you want to talk NFL, you want to talk baseball, basketball, whatever else is going on, we can do it, and then we'll get you ready for Monday Night Football. Yes.
And we only have one game. It's nice to be back to normal.
Thank goodness.
I know. Man.
Wow. Thank goodness. Monday Night Football. And it's a good one with the Jets and the Bills. Tomorrow, I will be doing a show at when is the I forgot to look. Is the Kings on Tuesday or Wednesday this week?
Tomorrow. So they're Tuesday and Thursday, I believe.
That's right. And Thursday?
Yeah, they finish up with the Clippers on Thursday. 17th. Yep.
You're right. Yep.
And really quick. Note on that.
Well,
Coach Brown today at practice said he would like to get the starters to play both games all the way through, but he realizes that probably is not going to happen. So he's shooting for at least one game. And my guess, Grant, would be against Utah tomorrow night and
I think so at home.
Clippers on Thursday.
Yep. So you want to do a show after the game tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll do a post game. Absolutely.
All right, so that's where we'll be. We'll be right here post game, and we're looking forward to that.
And then 2 o'clock before that, make sure you tune in. Jerry Reynolds will be right here on If You Don't Like That. We'll be talking pregame and camp and the game coming up.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we are going to have a lot of content coming your way right here on If You Don't Like That. You will not miss a thing. All right. So take care of that. All right. I've already got my own rant today. And a rant with Grant is brought to you by EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. Great concept. It's long overdue. And talking about EDH Motors, they got no obligation to any franchise or big corporation. David and Adam, just two people trying to do something different and better. Now, here's what EDH Motors will do for you. First of all, they offer new vehicle brokerage. They also offer vehicle consignments where they sell your vehicle for you. And of course, they can buy your car and they will sell pre-owned vehicles. And listen to this, even your RV or boat. You'll take delivery at their auto lounge in El Dorado Hills without ever going into a dealership. All right. And if you go to info@edhmotors.com, you'll get all the information. Again, you don't have to talk to a salesperson. You're not going to get pressured by a manager and all the other things that can happen when you have an unpleasant experience when it comes to your second biggest purchase next to your house. Info@edhmotors.com. That's info@edhmotors.com. EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. All right. Did you see what happened in Dallas yesterday with the Detroit Lions? Men against boys, no pun intended. The Lions embarrassing the Cowboys on Jerry Jones' birthday. And Jerry Jones feels that he's got to talk to the media after the game. What's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys? Jerry Jones. He's the one constant. And I'm not talking about the Super Bowls that he won right after, they fired the legendary Tom Landry and brought in Jimmy Johnson and made the Herschel Walker trade, and Jimmy Johnson, and then Barry Switzer with Jimmy Johnson's players was able to win a Super Bowl. You know how long ago that was? I mean, most of you probably weren't even born. You don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Since then, the Cowboys have been an embarrassment to the National Football League. They have very few playoff wins. They have bad player evaluation. They make mistakes at the coaching position. They make mistakes at the quarterback position. And all you got to do is look at the constant. The constant has been the owner, Jerry Jones, who thinks that he knows everything about football, makes every decision, and will not allow people underneath him to run the football team as they should. This is a shame what's gone on in Dallas. Yeah, they make money. Yeah, they have Jerry's World. Yes, going to a Cowboys game is amazing in Jerry's World. That stadium is unbelievable, but I've always thought it was about winning. The Cowboys yesterday embarrassed themselves. They have a bye week, and I don't think it really matters what they do. They have an overpaid quarterback. They have a defense with too many injuries, and they have an owner who is a buffoon. And that's my rant for today.
No use in even getting excited calling Jerry Jones a buffoon.
I don't have the energy today, man. You know what I mean? You got to have energy to do these things. I'm just like, wow.
But even amazing. On that subject matter, how can you have any more energy? You've let it out over the years. It's nothing new. It's terrible. Wow. Feel bad for John.
Incredible. Do I think that Malik Neighbors clears the concussion protocol this week? I would have no idea on that. I don't know. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. The Giants are going nowhere. They're 2-4, even though they play in a very weak division. And I say weak, and I'm not discrediting Washington and how well they've played, but I don't think it really matters. They're not a playoff team. I don't think it matters. I like watching them play. I think it's exciting, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I had no problem with him going to a concert, but apparently the New York media and some of the fans did. What's your take?
My take is that mountains are made out of molehills with the New York tabloids and the New York media. Okay? So there are a lot of things that happen in New York from a media perspective and the tabloids that I'm just like, come on, are you kidding me? I would say this. I think when you're a high-profile athlete in a major market like that, I think that you need to be aware of your actions even if they appear to be benign to you. And the word is distraction. And if you're Malik Neighbors and you are out with a concussion, even though medically speaking, it may be perfectly fine for you to go and attend, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. So I'll leave it at that. But they're not saying that. They're saying that he shouldn't have gone because it's not good for your brain, the noise. That's nonsense. I mean, only a neurologist can talk about that. I can't talk about that. But what I can say is when you're a high-profile athlete and every move you make is going to be documented and you're out, not playing because you have a concussion, stay home.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now let's keep it on the East Coast. How about Nick Sirianni chirping back at the crowd on the sidelines?
Stupid. It's Philadelphia. Leave him alone. Stupid. Don't be messing with the crowd.
It seems like his team kind of liked it, though.
They seem like they liked it, but I don't know if it's great for his longevity there because Philadelphia will turn on you in a heartbeat, and the Eagles are a team that's kind of teetering on the brink of falling right off the mountaintop, you know?
Yeah, I could see him winning some fans back with that because if you're a Philly fan and you're that kind of fan, sometimes you like a little bit of pushback, makes the interaction a little funner. I kind of liked it.
You like the pushback if you're winning. The Philly fans will not like the pushback if the Eagles play the way they did last year, which I've seen too often already this year. Philly is about one thing and one thing only. They're about winning. And yeah, they do like tough guys and they like the blue collar aspect, but that's only going to go so far in Philadelphia. Trust me.
Yep. I get that. They don't even like Santa sometimes. SoCal, it's not a story. I reported on that on June 24th, had 12,000 views. It's been out there for a really long time. He wanted to see how the roster improved or changed. He wants to get the Supermax. He's betting on himself. No rush, but come this time next year, it's a much bigger conversation.
You've been on that from day one. You've been saying this for, as you said, months.
Yes, since June, and it's been reported widespread, but it popped up again today because Rich Paul made some comments.
You know, that's another one that's ridiculous. That falls to me under the category of common sense also.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he is betting on himself, and he feels that, which, by the way, is really good for the Kings, for him to bet on himself.
It helps. Yes. Let's not put the scenarios out into the ether. I don't even want to do that, but it helps all parties involved. Now, the question becomes, if you're Vivek, and we've had this conversation, you're paying him the Supermax if he somehow makes all NBA.
You don't have a choice.
You have to. Absolutely. Now that you got DeMar, you're all in.
Well, if he makes all NBA, the Kings probably are a top 4 team.
Great point. Yeah, absolutely. Or there's a rash of injuries in the NBA.
Yeah, no question. Hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing, the newest residential community in Colusa. You can get all the information by going to ColusaSunrise.com. This is a project from Blazona Development in Colusa. Many models to choose from. Remember, there's no Melrose, there's no homeowners. Good location, access to the major arteries across from the Colusa Golf and Country Club. And again, if you go to ColusaSunrise.com, you'll get all the information you need from Sunrise Landing. That is ColusaSunrise.com and Sunrise Landing. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Post-game show will be on right after the Kings game. And I'm with you. I think if they're going to play the starters, like Mike Brown said, I think you would do it at home as opposed to on the road.
They're on the road the next two. So
I'm sorry. I thought they were home tomorrow. My bad.
They're at Utah and then they're at the Clippers.
I need to wake up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right,
I thought they were home tomorrow and on the road Thursday. All right, my bad. So it really doesn't matter. But then you think, all right, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why do you think it would be tomorrow instead of Thursday down at the new arena in LA? Only because then you are going to get ready for your opener. And would you like to have a little more consistency in terms of not having too many days off? I know you're going to be practicing, but games and practices are different. Do you think that enters into it at all?
You know, Grant, it's an excellent question. If what happened today didn't happen, I think that changes the scenario. But Malik Monk speaking up for the guys and saying we're tired, I think this is where Mike Brown pushes and says, no, this is the preseason. You had a day off before the last game.
Okay.
And I think there's an advantage to playing them against Utah for a couple of reasons. The first reason is against the Clippers, you don't want to show everything that you're going to do. I think you're going to have a more physical match with the Clippers. And I also think the Clippers is the best opportunity to get some guys that could be fringe rotation guys that could even possibly a Kevin Huerter sneak in, get them some extended run. I think you get your last run in tomorrow, get them on ice, get the bad taste out of their mouth. You can't leave that taste in their mouth. They were their starters, Grant, minus 100 combined. Minus 100.
Yeah, it's about as bad as it gets.
Yes.
Good point. All right, so we'll see. Here's the deal. We'll be on after the game tomorrow, and we'll break it down. Thanks for correcting me. I thought the game was in Sacramento for some reason. By the way, the Mets have won that game. The final was 7-3, so that series is tied at a game apiece.
There you go. Heading back to head back to New York now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
very good. Awesome.
All right, buddy. Enjoy the game tonight, and I look forward to being on with you tomorrow after the Kings and the Jazz.
Can't wait. And don't forget, everybody, you can take us with you on the go. You don't always have to watch. Go to grantnapier.com. Go to ifyoudon'tlikethat.com. You can download the audio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you find it. All the audio for the shows right there.
And don't forget Jerry Reynolds tomorrow at 2 o'clock with Ryno.
Yep. 2 o'clock. Be here, and we'll be wrapping up the night tomorrow night with the Kings. So subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
Sounds great. To everyone else, enjoy the game. Whether it's baseball or football, enjoy it. We'll be back tomorrow after the Kings game. Bye-bye now.